All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Armchair Sports Guys. It is the three of us, three amigos, Rich Mays, Matt O'Brien. I am GJ Mitchell, talking Red Sox preview. As you know, the Red Sox are starting on Friday, 7:30 start time. I think we already covered that weirdness and what the fuck that's about. But nonetheless, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the team and what we think is going to shape up for this 2020 abridged season. So, if you don't know, it's only 60 games. They're going to be staying in the East Coast, so it's 40 games against the AL East and 20 games against the NL East. Just quickly going through, you're going to do the starting nine, and I'm just kind of going what my opinion is going to be on these. I know most of them are already in set in stone. There are some guys that could be, one or the other. So you're leading off. You got Andrew Benintendi in left. JD Martinez has been moved up to the 2-hole. He's the DH. Rafi Devers is third base at hitting the 3 spot. Xander Bogaerts is 4, hitting shortstop. Mitch Moreland, first base, hitting in the 5-hole. And then from 6 to 9, you can do pretty much anything. I kind of set it up the way I would normally, thinking how the Sox would want to maximize guys that can get on base and have a little pop. So I put Kevin Pillar in right field. I'm not sure if Alex Verdugo is fully healthy yet to come back. I know he's had some problems and stuff with his back, so I think Pillar might be the healthier choice at that point. Jose Peraza, the second baseman, batting 7th. Christian Vasquez, the catcher, batting 8th. And then Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field, batting 9th. And your starter for Friday's game is going to be Nathan Eovaldi because Chris Sale is on the mend from Tommy John surgery, followed up by Martin Perez, who will be pitching on Saturday, and then Ryan Weber will be pitching on Sunday. After that, it's
You're going to go on Monday.
Bullpen game? Yeah, I'm going to go Monday. Matt's going Tuesday. Rich, get your arm ready. We might need some help in the pen at that point. After that, it's going to be bullpen by committee, worker, opening, closer. I don't know what the hell. It's going to be like a retail store opening mid-shift and a closing shift. I do know that they're looking at Matt Hall and Jeffrey Springs as possible starters for the 5th game, but again, that is really yet to be determined. Eddie Rodriguez was a guy that was supposed to start week 1. He is not going to be starting because of COVID, and he's had some setbacks that came up recently today, so that may set him back a little bit on his comeback. So, guys, I'm going to start with you, Matt. Your assessment of this team and what do you think they're going to end up doing this year?
Well, the good thing is we only have to watch 60 games of this team because the bullpen is absolutely atrocious. However, we have hitters. I mean, Benintendi, JD Martinez, I'm a little confused of why he's in the 2-hole spot. I'd like to see maybe Devers and him switch, or you can possibly move up Peraza in the 2-hole. Like you said, it's kind of a crapshoot, 6 through 9, with Jackie Bradley Jr. in the 9th spot. That's not going to change. He can't hit, but unless you're putting up 6 or 7 runs every game to give this team a fighting chance, it's not necessarily – I'm not really too worried about – well, I'm worried about Erod because he's not going to be ready till a third of the season, if you call it that. I mean, he'll be ready by like the 18th, 20th game because now he's experiencing after effects from this COVID. So now you're moving Nathan Eovaldi, who was your 5th starter. And at one point, so was an Erod. He was in the 4-5 slot 2 years ago because you lost Sale for this season. David Price is no longer with us. And Rick Porcello. I mean, those are huge 1, 2, 3. Those are big names in baseball. But the other effect is this team can hit. Benintendi, Martinez, Devers, Bogaerts, Vasquez, even Mitch Moreland. I mean, that's a dangerous 7 spot, going from that left side. And I like that, we signed him to that 2-year deal. I think he can get the job done within the next 2 years. I don't want to sound too negative, but the bullpen is the reason for the collapse of last season. And then you take in, Mookie Betts out of it. Betts, I mean, I like that move. I like not signing him. Do I think the Sox, business-wise, are ridiculously dumb because they'd have to pay that that tax cap or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's like 75% or whatnot is where they were.
Yeah, hence why Castillo has been in the minors, the AAA, making $10 million a year or whatever it is, batting 315, 300. and we can't call him up because of that tax. So I think it's a good thing you get Mookie Betts off your payroll, because I don't think he's worth that. I think he's a great ball player. I like him on the field, of course, and off the field. He handled himself with class. I think he probably will fit in better with that LA Dodger, that atmosphere, that culture over there that they got, especially in the NL. I think he's going to crush it there. However, is Mookie Betts a top 10 player? Of course he is. However, the Red Sox were not going to give up $420 million for a 10-year. They offered him $300 at 10, and he ended up getting just shy over $30 million for a 12-year deal anyways. And I think that the Sox not only lucked out with that deal, though, George, but also due to COVID, you're not going to see in the next 2 to 5 years big deals because of COVID. There's no butts in the seats right now. So if you're Mookie Betts, good job. Hey, you got your money. You got paid. You know, you think you're worth it. You think you're worth that. I would have loved to have seen a 10-year, maybe 250. But who am I? At the same time, good for him. But you're not going to see any of those deals because of this. Sad to say. So Mookie's looking at this as saying, I got to make a deal. I got to make a long-term deal now. Even if I blow these 60 games and I hit 400, what's the next season? I can sign a 10-year deal, and I'm only going to be offered 250 because baseball doesn't have that much money left.
Right. Yep.
So Red Sox kind of lucked out. Now, I don't want to call this rebuilding year. What if Sale was here? We may have a different story. What if he was healthy? Then Evaldi steps up. Erod comes back with a great year. It could be a different story. However, we're living in the now. We got to work on our bullpen. I do have faith. Again, it's 60 games. That's it. You literally have to sweep the Orioles, what they start off, and I'll end right here so Rich can chime in. But that's what it is. You have to win 2/3 of this. I mean, even if you win 35 games, you're in. So it's going to be tough. Can they get their engines going early? Orioles are actually known for that. The first April and May, they're like, right at the top of 1-2, and then but come June and then right before the All-Star break, after those 45, yep. they just suck. But then we could be talking the Orioles, the best team in baseball, coming out of the AL East. You never know. So that's a shortened season, and these guys aren't used to it. Besides maybe some of the rookies coming out of rookie A ball, or even playing 100 games but only playing 70 or 80 of those games. Most of these players are not used to this short of a season. So it's anybody's game, but if I'm a betting man, Red Sox are not going to be ahead of the Yankees and possibly not even ahead of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Major League Baseball, I will say, and Rich, I'll let you touch on this. They just came up on saying that they're extending the playoff structure for this year only and expanding it. So the Red Sox, as shitty as we all think this team is, and I'll take your opinion on this, Rich, after, but as at least Matt and I are right now, as shitty as we think this team is, granted their offense is good, but their bullpen blows. What's it, Ryan Brazier, whatever, Brazzers, whatever his name is. He blew a lead. I mean, dude, it was epic. I got home. I turned the TV on. The Sox were winning. I watched a hit, a single, and then a double, and then throw the ball away to tie it up, and then 2-run bomb. And in 5 minutes, Blue Jays on the exhibition game already won the game. I was like, yep, this is the 2020 Red Sox. And I sent that to you guys because I'm like, this is what I expect. This is what I expect. So the Red Sox could suck, could be absolute hot garbage, could be Oscar the Grouch on fire, and they could still make the playoffs. And that kind of pisses me off, to be honest with you. Because now we all know the spin that happens out on whatever they're calling the artist formerly known as Yawkey Way. What that spin machine that they have there, yeah, whatever it is. It's Shitsville Central. I don't care. Whatever spin machine they have, they're like, well, listen, we made the playoffs again. That's the 5th year in a row, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just going to be like, fuck off, because you guys haven't done shit. You got a shitty team with a shitty bullpen. You didn't put money into your franchise this year because you don't want to pay the tax when you could have had Mookie Betts. Regardless of that, I look at it this way. The deal that he got was pretty much could have been the same deal the Red Sox could have given him. And if you make the playoffs and you win more World Series, doesn't the championship, the rolling rallies, as the mayor once said, Doesn't the memorabilia, the merchandise, this, that, and the other thing that comes from winning championships. And we in Boston know what winning titles like, and we know what it feels like to win, and know what, bedlam happens when we win. You mean to tell me that wouldn't have increased and it wouldn't have gotten the Red Sox extra money to pay that tax back tenfold if they kept Mookie Betts, which is another reason why I'm pissed. But Rich, I digress. Your thoughts on this 2020 Red Sox season? And before you say anything, you're just face is just such disgust, and I can't wait for it. Go on, sir.
This season is just a dumpster fucking fire. I don't even know how they're going to take this seriously.
It hasn't even started yet. Woo!
Honestly, I just read this whole, we're going to add teams now. 16 teams.
Is that official? That must
have
was that official
that
right
just got taken today.
8 best-of-5 series turning into 2 best-of-5 series to 1 best-of-7 series to 1 best-of-7 series. Or you know what I'm talking about, the AL, NL.
Yeah.
Not playing the entirety of your league. So the Red Sox could go a whole season without playing the Twins, but the Twins could win the American League.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's horse shit. This whole thing with the adding playoffs and devolving the structures of games that have been around since probably 100 years before some of these trust fund baby jackass motherfuckers ever thought to even own a baseball team. And then all of a sudden it's, let's see, how can we wring every cent out of every inch out of every ballpark? Eventually to the point where we're paying players exorbitant amount of money, but still expecting people to roll in here and pay $46 for a 4.5-hour game while drinking $12 beers and $14 hot dogs. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, looking at the pile of elephant shit that is this Red Sox team. First of all, real quick bullet points. Evaldi, prove it season. Bogart's growing. Devers, got to build on last year. It was a big fluke. Benintendi, last chance. JD Martinez, whatever. Mitch Moreland, I didn't even know he was still on the team. The other night he hit a home run, and I thought it was a game from like 2 years ago. Sale injured because the team mismanaged the hell out of that. Erod injured because he probably didn't understand what the fuck they told him to do. No Price, no Betts, and we still have Jackie fucking Bradley on this baseball team at $12 million. Am I close?
12 and a half, something like that, yeah.
Baseball can go fuck itself. I honestly don't give a shit. And this is a sport I grew up loving. I read every book I could get my hand on. I begged to stay up and watch every Red Sox game there was. I memorized every statistic. I have a book report from when I was 10 years old that I found in the attic where I drew Fenway on the front and wrote the line of the 86 Red Sox on the inside of it. As I wrote a book report for the Baseball Stars of 1971. And now I don't even recognize this game anymore. They have chased the dollar so far down the shithole that baseball is unwatchable. It's basically fucking slow pitch softball. I don't know why they bother throwing overhand anymore. Just go get those big Captain Caveman bats and fucking those giant, bowling ball, wiffle balls. Why don't we just give them aluminum bats? Let's just move them on to the metal bats already so they can hit the ball 14 miles instead of 12. Like, there's no nuance to the game anymore. There's no bunting. There's no hitting to the opposite side. There's no stolen bases. There's no hit and runs. It's walk, strikeout, or like you said earlier, home run. That's literally all the game is.
Those are the 3 truest outcomes of baseball. And the nerds have taken that and it said, if we can get a guy who can do more home runs, more walks, less strikeouts, then we're good. Because the variables are what screws up the computer for the nerds, because they can't put that in there to say, well, if he does this or he does that, you don't know. Ball goes off a wall in Fenway, could go any direction, right? You don't know. Could hit someplace, could go this way. You don't know. And that's something that the nerds can't handle, because the 3 truities are strikeout, walk, home run. It sucks.
And
it sucks.
That comment I made about Erod not knowing, I blame more would be the Red Sox not explaining what he needed to do than saying he wouldn't understand because he's, a Spanish player. I didn't.
I got you. I get it.
Are send mixed signals to their players and mix and match their responses and their attitudes toward people. Jackie Bradley's here, but Mookie Betts is gone. How does that make any sense on this planet? Like, honestly. Mookie Betts is the franchise player, and he was ours. We grew that dude from the minors. He was our guy, and we sent him away to the goddamn Dodgers, where nobody gives a shit. Like, honestly, what the fuck are these people doing?
That's a great question because I don't have an answer. Because yeah, trust me, I don't have an answer for it. I do know that they have probably the shittiest bullpen ever. Workman's your closer. Matt Barnes is your setup guy. Like I said,
Which Workman are we talking about?
Brandon Workman. Matt
Didn't we
Barnes is
have
the
Vince
setup.
at one time?
Huh?
Didn't we have a Vince Workman before?
No, I don't think so. Maybe back in the day.
No.
I don't know.
I
But
don't remember.
you still got Heath Hembry. You got Colton Brewer, Austin Bryce, Dylan Covey. They just picked up from Tampa.
They all sound like frat boys.
Yeah, pretty much. No, honestly, I feel like when I look at this Red Sox, it's kind of the opening part of like the movie Major League when the couple of the guys are working on the mound. They read the thing. This team is shitty. Like
I'm the construction worker.
Yeah, exactly. This team sucks. And again,
Guys don't look too fucking good.
exactly.
No, they don't, dude.
Exactly. I do think, however, like I think Rich, you'd said this is like a bridge year. Or Matt, you might have said it was like a bridge year.
You said it, dude.
You said it.
I did say it was a bridge year. All right, well then it's a bridge year.
Sure.
But I like the Andrew Benintendi. I like Devers. I like Bogarts. I think that's your good nucleus core of young team that you can get.
Benintendi's got to do something though, bro.
Right. Well, you know what though? I think because I think Benintendi hit a lot of bombs in the minors, and a lot of people thought, oh, he's going to have this power. He's not, and he doesn't need to have the power. If Benintendi ends up being like a Dustin Pedroia 2.0 guy who hustles his ass off, gives you 15 to 20 bombs a year, right? Gets you 85 to 105-ish RBIs and hits 285-ish or so, I'd be happy with that. I'd take that for Benintendi all day because it's a steady Eddie type of thing that you know you're going to get out of him. And he plays pretty good defense on the left field. I mean, it's left field in Fenway really ain't hard to play. Respectfully, Marion Ramirez played it. So, it's not that hard, but I think that's a good combo. And I like the Devers Bogarts combo on that left side. So pretty much your left part of the field is all taken care of with Devers, Bogarts, and Benintendi.
Yeah. Look, I just looked up Benintendi's stats real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The season you said would be great from him was basically his 2017 2018 season. He hit 29
Rookie year.
and he hit 16, 87, 290. But here's the stat that troubles me. So he walked 70 times in 17 with 112 Ks. He walked 71 times with 106 Ks. Last year, he only walked 59 times and struck out 140.
Yeah, that's
a
huge
pretty
flip.
big leap in non-contact.
Yeah, that is a huge flip.
That's why I said this year is a prove-it year. If he doesn't prove it this year, even in just 60 games, I'm not going to be sad if they trade him away or something because he's trending downward. He started off good, but he's been declining. So he needs to prove it this year or he's expendable.
Double L is down on his Beckett for Benintendi. Got it.
Well, I mean, then I'm going to argue your point of we should have kept Mookie Betts because he batted last year was 295. His money year was 346. The year before that, 264, 318, 291, 291. Like, there's a little bit of inconsistency there. I mean, he didn't really have the best year. Yeah, he finished at 295, but at the same time, that's coming off at 346. The year before that was 264. I'm not saying that he's not like a Gold Glover and he's got a cannon in right field, but I mean, I think Jackie Bradley Jr. defensively is way better than Mookie Betts. I mean, go to the highlight reels. Nobody can cover a center field like Jackie Bradley Jr. And you're going to need defensive players with this dog shit or whatever you want to call it that's in the bullpen. Which,
and the
by the way,
rotation.
they're all in the bullpen. And this COVID thing, maybe they need to spread out and stop grab-assing. You know what I mean? But to me, like, yeah, Mookie's got great numbers. Slugging percentage, 524, 640, 459, 479, 444. I mean, you want to pay? He wanted $420 million. Now, I'm not saying that he wanted to stay in Boston, but if you really didn't want to stay in Boston, you would have probably said, you know what, give me 450 for 10.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous, like
Yeah.
something insane. I don't think he was worth what he was asking at all. I mean, the Sox tried 10 years of 300. He didn't want to take it. He thought he was bigger than that.
Yeah, but
So
you mean to tell me that the Sox couldn't have moved up and given him 10 for 350 for 10 instead of the 400 for 10, a 425 for 10, right?
well, he was
They could have
due 27 million this current year, so it would have
Right.
been prorated, whatever it
right.
was.
Oh yeah, it would have been sort of tacked on, however they want to do it, because that's the way that again, sort of the Patrick Mahomes thing. They're spinning it like, oh, it's a 12-year. Well, no, it's actually just a 10-year in this, but you include the 2 years he's already on, because then it's So same content. He's getting 27 this year, and he'll get 30 plus next year.
30 and some change. So
Yeah.
he's getting what he wanted. He's just tacking on the last 2 years, which they're going to be like, he's going to get 4 or 5 million per year at the end of that contract.
Right,
Which
yeah.
it'll be what? He's 27 now, so 38,
He'll
39.
be 40, 41.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
good for him. But like
Yeah.
at the same time, like I'm not paying that much money for one guy when that's not our biggest problem right now. First off, Mookie Betts, he's got great power to left field, great power to center. He plays a great outfield, good arm. He has no opposite field power. I'm going to challenge him all day long on low and outside. He can't do what JD Martinez did last night. Now, or the night before, excuse me. I mean, and that's the other thing that they need. I mean, do you need Mookie's bat? Yeah, every team in the world is going to say, I want Mookie's bat in my lineup. But I'm not willing to pay $30 million for it, for him to hit 295. I want to see 346 or 330 in there. I want stolen bases up. I want OPS up. I want everything up. That is a monster deal. So we brought up the Patrick Mahomes thing. That's a lot of weight on a 24-year-old. Mahomes is even in a bigger spotlight that I feel than Mookie Betts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that kid better perform. Good for both of them, but that kid better perform. Mookie Betts has now 60 games. I mean, he may hit fucking 400. He may go on a 30-game hitting streak and prove us all wrong and be like, fuck me. I would have gave him the 450, whatever. But it's not worth it. With this bullpen, I need pitchers.
I need pitchers to begin with. Starters and bull. I mean, because when Chris Sale comes back, Chris Sale's not coming back next year. He's not going to be back till like September of next year, which in my opinion, if I'm the Red Sox, I'm telling them you can come to the bull. Again, COVID aside, come to spring training, hang out, stay with the team. You want to travel a little bit, fine, whatever. You have the whole year off. I'm not going to take, I don't want him coming back in September. I want him having the whole year off so that in 2 years spring training time, he goes down. I don't care if he wants to go down in December or January, right after the holidays, go down and do that extended spring training to get his arm warmed up, loosened, all that stuff. Let's do that. Because that's the only way I really want to see Sale. But Eduardo Rodriguez, it sucks he got the COVID. Hopefully it's not setbacks and whatnot.
But that's the thing you got to play. You got to play that. Like, who's to say that Trout's not going to get it? You know what I mean? Who's to say that? All these other guys. You can't keep
Soto
these guys in a
bubble. Soto from the
Nationals
just got it, and they're playing. They're playing the game. Yeah, and they're playing the game. Well, he got it, but he's asymptomatic, but he's tested negative. But they're testing people, so they're playing the game against the Yankees. And here's a guy, and I say, well, loosely, quote unquote, active with COVID, for lack of a better way of putting it, right? Because we just don't. We don't know. He doesn't know if he's given it to any of his teammates or anything.
I'm not paying that much for Mookie Betts.
Okay.
365. What was it for 13?
Yeah.
13. So it was toggling back to 12 and 380. So the final was 13 for 365. I'm not paying that much. No. I'm not paying. Now I know he was leadoff the last 2 years. RBI was 80, great for a leadoff, but when he's in the 3-4 spot. Actually, mainly the 3. It was 113 and 102 RBIs, 2016, 2017. And then that's when we got JD Martinez. Things were going great, but at the same time, that's a lot of money. And I could take that much money and I could restructure the fucking bullpen with that. Although they didn't really. If you have a $300 million budget, that's what you offered. Okay, let's just take a step back. Let's find a guy that can rework the bullpen so our pitchers, where we don't have our studs, which is Evaldi, Erod, and get them some help.
Yep.
That's where you need to start. I mean, what's the trading? What's going to be the trade deadline? Is there even one? I
August
haven't heard
31st.
that at all.
August
Okay.
31st. Yep.
Okay, so that's halfway through the season, or just
Yeah.
under,
Yeah.
just shy of halfway through.
Yep.
I just don't want to call it. I'm going to watch it because I like baseball. Like, to Rich's point, old school baseball guy, I respect that. Yeah, you're not going to see a lot of drag bunting in this day and age. I think the players are a lot better than they were 15 years, 30 years ago, and it's true. A lot more players are in way better shape. It may not look at when you look at Kevin Millar when he was playing, but
Yeah.
you're not gonna see the old school baseball
around any shortstop in the league today, and he weighed 165 pounds or some shit.
And who was that, Rich?
I said Ozzie Smith.
Oh, yeah.
You said guys 15 years ago. Just because dudes now are bigger and stronger doesn't make them better. They mash the ball. That's all they do. They're fucking robots. They don't know how to do those other things. They don't have the skill of a Ted Williams to slice the ball within 2 feet of the right field line to get, and you see him, there's a shift on. Hey, I know what I'll do. I'll hit to 5 infielders instead of none because they don't know how to do that.
Nobody went to Kenny
They're not
Mansky's.
equipped for that shit.
Nobody went to Kenny Mansky's hitting drills. None of the bastards did.
You can't tell me that today's baseball players are better than 40 years ago. Ted Williams is the exception. Wade Boggs is the exception. Ozzie Smith, he's as elusive as they come. I mean, that guy was like Gumby.
Ricky Henderson, Dave Winfield, George Brett, the guy batted 380. There are players today that, like, I'm looking at Jackie Bradley Jr. He has 638 career hits and 780 career strikeouts.
You're looking at a guy that can't hit.
That's
yes,
true.
but there's a lot of those guys in this league, and they keep wanting to add more teams, and we add more playoff teams, and basically what we get is a stream of money only, and the product is awful. Awful. It's not baseball. It's fucking softball.
I think you just have to give it a few more years to see what these pitchers can bring. The pitchers back. Let's talk about that, Rich. I mean, we've talked about the Red Sox. Fuck that. Let's talk about the pitching 20 years ago. How many guys could throw 99 to 105? How many guys?
I got to
count them maybe on one hand.
How many guys could throw 77 pitch complete games? Greg Maddox,
that's why they probably couldn't throw. That's why they probably couldn't throw. You have guys that are singing that ball 100 miles plus. You have guys that can bend it 12-6, have sliders go 85, 86 miles an hour, make you look dumb. The pitching is way better because,
Randy
you're right.
Johnson,
You're not going to have a guy go 150 pitches a game. You're not going to have Andy Pettit. No way in hell he went 190 pitches a game or 150. I may give him 130. But over time, these coaches have learned that I'm not going to have my stud pitcher, doesn't matter, leaving money aside, last me 5 seasons by having him go out there and just try to rubber arm it and throw 175 pitches a game. I mean, the game has evolved.
Obviously that's not what I'm talking about. But these guys don't even reach the 6th inning half the time because they throw so many goddamn pitches because they're not good at it. They can't throw.
Or do you say that the strength of the hitters is becoming better?
I think it's a combination of both, but more importantly, I think it has to do. I think it. Yes.
Yeah, that's a big.
I think it has to that and the juice balls. Let's go. I also think it has to do with
little ballparks
with the sabermetrics of it, and here's why. And I heard this stat on the radio, and it's that Bob Gibson had like a 17 strikeout game in like game 1 of a World Series, and it was a complete game. Right? So, yeah, thank you. 68. So here's the thing. In this day and age, now, you mean to tell me one of the greatest pitchers of all time, sabermetrics would have said, hey, he's going to come out in the 7th after facing the rotation 3 times, because after the 3rd time, that's when your numbers start to drastically dip as effectiveness from a pitcher. Bob fucking Gibson, 17 strikeouts in game 1 of a World Series, which was played in just over 2.5 hours or so. So a World Series game played in that amount of time, but still he struck out 17. You mean to tell me you're going to be the manager to go out to that mound and take Bob Gibson out when he's at whatever many pitches and 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever strikeouts in the 7th inning? Get out of here. And that's the problem with baseball is you don't let the coaches coach and do the right thing. And if they're right, they're right. If they're wrong, they're wrong. They as a coach should own it. But the problem is the sabermetrics won't allow you to do that. And I think that's why guys aren't built now
Horrible example.
to sustain. Guys aren't built to have that stamina and sustain to last
Here's some other
into a
examples.
pitching.
Horrible example. Rich, let's see your example.
World Series.
That's a perfect example.
That's a horrible
Jack
example,
Morris,
George. The World Series.
Shutout game in 1991 World Series.
It doesn't matter World Series. It's still the sabermetrics of taking a guy out.
The sabermetrics will tell you to take him out, but as a baseball manager, every single manager knows that if you have 10 strikeouts through 4 innings, I'm sticking with you. I don't care what you're at. It's game 1.
I'll tell you right now.
I'll win.
All right, so
that's a win.
So
but sabermetrics in game 34 of the season.
Yeah,
if he has 12, if he has 12 through 4, or let's just see what he can go, because we know he can go at least 100. But
back in the day, guys went. Guys still pitched. Guys had balls on the mound. Guys had pride in what they did.
16 strikeouts is different.
Nowadays, guys, now granted, because 16, 17, you're getting closer to
that's a lot. You leave the guy in there, he's on fire.
Yeah, I don't.
Then you know what? And if he throws 130, his next rotation, if he's not feeling 100%. That's when you bring up the rookie. I mean,
but then here's what happens: is people like us are like, oh, well, the manager overthinking, and because nobody throws complete games. None of the pitchers' bodies and the way they design their bodies to be from a physical standpoint, chemical standpoint, of the build and their makeup is designed to pitch fully a whole 9-inning game. Because they know they don't have to anymore with lefty-righty specialists and all that other crap that comes out.
It's always been a pitcher's game. What else do you want?
6th inning, and then they can hit the showers.
Exactly.
Real quick.
What you want to see the guy throw shit dog innings? Come on.
No, I want to see the guy nut up and fucking throw heat.
Unless he's facing that 8th or 9th inning. Hey, he's at only 75 pitches. Oh, then let him go. Like that's what it is. Because over 162 games. I mean, I don't understand what more you guys want. The hitters are getting bigger and stronger. Rich alluded to it earlier. They may not be as elusive, and they're also healthier. Let's not forget that. There's no more greenies that were in the 80s. There's no more. Well, there's probably some steroids, but
there's probably some cocaine.
Yeah. No, that's not even bad. But those are the types of things that that's like that in every sport, though. We can definitely say that.
Yeah.
Hockey, football, basketball, every athlete is in much better shape because they're much more educated. Has the game of baseball changed? Absolutely. I don't want to see a 3.5-hour game, especially when the Red Sox blow it. I'm with you guys on that. But you can't deny that the hitters are getting better. It used to be.
They are.
It used to be, hey,
getting
if you go
worse.
3 for 10, if you do 30% of your work, you're an all-star. It's the only sport that you can say that.
Yeah, you suck more often than not, and you get a plaque on a wall.
Exactly. I remember 10 years ago, this guy's batting 275, and I'm like, so why the fuck is he an all-star?
Yeah.
Because pitchers were getting better. The stuff was getting nastier. More pitchers were added to the roster. You're absolutely right. We have a lefty guy. We have a setup man. We have a setup man for the setup man. It's like that movie Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
Sonny's got a mistress. He's got a mistress for the mistress. So I'm with you guys on the fact that I don't like this. Bring a lefty on a lefty. Bring a situational guy on this. What about the shift?
Now they have to go 3 guys deep. If you make a change, a pitching change, that new pitcher has to face 3 batters. So there is no lefty righty. Let's waste 17 fucking hours of time to have the guy warm up. That is for this year. Yeah. And there's some there's DHs in both leagues for this year too. Which I'll be honest. I
like that.
I don't. I like the double switch. I like the nuance of the National League. Because it's something. There's something innately sexy about it because of the fact that it's something that you can control and that.
Yeah, I want to see.
It's a strategy thing.
Eduardo Rodriguez hit.
Well, no, but it's a strategy thing. It's okay. You got to take this guy out to put this guy in. But is my pitcher? Can he? I mean, again, Bob Gibson had to hit in that World Series. So do you think the manager's going, oh well, shit, he's coming up in this inning. What do we do with them? I let him hit because he's pitching his ass off. That's to me is what you don't get with having a DH
the whole time. I was like,
Of
But
course.
I know I interrupted Rich twice. My
Yeah,
bad.
go ahead, Rich. You had
No,
something.
sorry, I was interrupting you. What I was going to say was there are 5 managers in the league right now that I would trust not to automatically respond to the nerds when they hand their papers out of the nerderies as to what to do. And they're old school dudes, Dusty Baker, Bud Black, those kinds of guys. Every other manager, which is what, 25 or 20, how many teams are in baseball now? 30 or 32?
32.
30. Yeah,
32.
32. So
Something
sure.
like that.
Other managers, I would completely expect to do exactly what the nerds tell them to do. And that's awful. And then speaking to your pitching, I looked up active leaders in complete games, and after 21 years, Fatty Bartolo Colon has 38.
Well, that's what
Which,
happens when you pitch
even
until
if
you're
you're
74 years old.
even if you're talking about like the 80s and
I'd
90s,
hire him.
that's embarrassing. That's as many games as he could complete in his career. Nolan Ryan had 26 one year. I'm sure oldie pitchers had higher, but I don't count them because it's
Yeah, a
different.
lot of oldie
When
pitchers.
you
That's
get
just
more
the
into the modern
norm.
like 70s and 80s, there are dudes who triple that number. Like
100%.
George said, they've been conditioned not to pitch as long because they know they don't have to. So while they may throw 100 miles an hour, they can only do it for 5 innings, and then they suck. Whereas a guy like Clemens or Randy Johnson could throw
Those are Hall
90
of Fame.
all the
Well,
way
not
through up the
Clemens,
end of the
but
game.
should be.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, some guys. Well, Clemens came in 86 as a rookie, still going
85.
complete games. 85.
Yeah, in
I mean,
86 he exploded. He was 14-2 before the All-Star
Right.
break, 24-4, 256 with a 2.48. He had 24 complete games.
And
I
Rich
mean,
is
the
probably
dude-
reading
and he
that
had
off the
20
thought in his
strikeout
head, not
games.
on a.
yeah. He's not looking at his
He's
phone.
not looking at it. He's just
He's
ding,
not.
ding,
Yeah.
ding.
Hey, that's just
Roger
no.
Clemens
I'm
was
not.
my
I'm not.
idol growing
That's
up.
not the. That's not the argument I'm making. I mean, you just named again Hall of Famers. You are naming. Give me the average Joe.
Because the average Joe can't do
Well,
that
they're
because they
average
suck.
Joes because
The
they
average
can't
Joe
do
in the
it.
70s is going probably. Yeah, he'll probably have 11 or 12 complete games because fucking the hitters weren't juiced up or jacked up. They would go and have Miller Lite. Everybody drank after a game.
Oh yeah.
Wade
Drink
Boggs,
during the
Jesus
game.
Christ, 70 in a round
Some
trip.
of them drank during the game.
Ripping lung darts during the game.
Oh yeah.
When that
But you don't-
dugout like smoke.
Right. I'm just saying that the game has evolved. You can't a pitcher, and that's also a head game too, guys. As a pitcher, you know that if you're hot, you're hitting your spots, you're getting outs, and you're getting. I don't care if you strike out. I don't care if you throw the ball 100. This is me personally. I don't care if you throw 100 miles an hour. Hit the spots that yes, sabermetrics will tell you. And if you get guys out, you're going to stay in the ball game. That's less pitches. That's how it goes. But you get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. You get 2 runs, 2 earned runs, or maybe there's an error. 3. You're down 4-0 in the 5th, and you're at 89 pitches. You're still going to maybe go out there, but you know that every hitter counts. If that guy gets on, you're looking into your manager if he's going to take you out.
So you're on
20
eggshells
years-
every time. Yeah.
Exactly. 20 years ago, you're challenging those hitters. You know where it was just old. Technology is not going to go away. I've said that about the Houston Astros cheating and
Well, now
the
they get
Sox with
more.
2018.
Everybody's getting more iPads to look at cybermetrics and more nerd. They just
just the
upgraded their Nerdum. They did a 2.0 version or 3.0 version
Right.
of their
It's not-
Staticaster. It's like, come on.
It's not going away. Whereas in this, I don't want to say the 70s, but in the 80s and the 90s, early 90s, you're down 5 runs and it's 10-5 ball game and you're in the 5th or the 6th. Well, you're probably going to get taken out. Let's just say it's a 3-run ball game, but you're still in the game. They don't give a shit about pitch count. They do, but they don't. They would let the pitchers work it out more often than not. Now they're not. There's a tight leash.
Yep.
And yes, it has something to do with sabermetrics. And yes, it's a mental game for that pitcher. They give up 1, 2, 3, 4 runs and they're at 80 pitches. They're looking at the dugout. Shit, is he coming out? Fucking bullpen. Now I'm fucked. Like it's also a different generation too. So
Yeah.
and that affects a lot.
That's
that
true,
affects
too.
a lot too.
Very
But
true.
if I can go 6 innings and rely on my bullpen, which if I'm the Red Sox, I don't
Yeah.
want anybody to touch that ball. If I'm Evaldi, I'm
You
gonna
better
go
be
all
going
9.
9 every time.
So while I agree that like pitching. I mean, Cy Young probably threw 200 pitches a game, and he's 75 miles an hour.
I mean, Babe Ruth
that
pitched
was
back-to-back
gas back in
games.
the day.
Yeah, you
Right.
pick a day-night doubleheader, you pitch them both. Yeah, no,
So
I get it.
the game's evolving, but I'm still not gonna buy that. Nolan Ryan, who didn't love him? Randy Johnson, Clemens, there's no denying that talent. But guys that Evaldi's pitching to Mike Trout. If Mike Trout was in 1980, you mentioned George Brett hitting 380. I bet you Trout's hitting 400,
No,
and with way more home runs.
no
With
way.
way more home runs.
No way. No
way
way.
more home runs.
No, because the
Guys are throwing pus in the 7th and 8th inning.
That's true.
Pus. And
Doesn't
Trout
matter.
would sit back and take you deep and then smile when he does it. Then he's going to look at your girlfriend. Want to know where she's
But
sitting?
you won't know who he is.
Because I'm going to wink right at her.
Because no one does. Yeah. Thanks, Manti Te'o. I appreciate that.
Like, who's that guy? I think he's a baseball player, dear.
Well, you look at Trout, you're like, is that a football player? Is that a professional wrestler? Harper, same thing. I think Harper is, although I like him, I think he's talented. I think he's very overrated because he got that much money. You put Harper in 1980s, 1970, he's
I would
MVP.
say Trout over Harper because
Oh.
Trout only bats like 2 1/4, maybe. I'm sorry, not Trout. Harper. Harper bats like 220, maybe. And I'm saying with respect. I know
against pitchers nowadays that are just, and the shift.
Yeah, that's the other thing I hate.
That's the other thing. And they can't go the other way. And Rich is white because there's an ego thing there. Oh, no, I'm going to beat the shift. I mean, Ortiz used to do it a couple times, lay down that bunt. Not all the time. Or he would go the other way with it. These guys are
Manny
professional.
did
They can
that
go
a
the
few
other
times.
way.
Yeah. I mean,
JD
stupidly.
Martinez can certainly do that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I'm not going to fault the guy if you hit right into the shift. No shit. I mean, why not go there? It's a little harder than it looks, fellas, because you're facing now a fresh guy just came in the 5th inning, and holy shit, who's this guy? He's throwing 95, 97 miles an hour from the lefty matchup. Well, that's why he can't hit. That's why he hits into the shift.
Yeah, with moving on a slider or a changeup that falls off the table. No, I get it.
Athletes are
But
better
still.
in general. Like this time, you can name the Hall of Famers, and you put those Hall of Famers in today's. Okay, yeah, absolutely, they can play. The Clemens, Andy Pettit in his prime, absolutely. I'm not going to argue there. But fucking.
But I don't know if I think Trout would have been
Brady Anderson, who hit 50 home runs one year because he was on the shit.
That's
You
out
put
of a
him.
bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking Rafael Palmeiro was an opposite field singles hitter in 1988, and all of a sudden he's hitting 45 bombs a year for those goddamn Orioles. That was a load of shit too.
Oh, of course, but I mean, at the same time, he's been on the Hall of Fame ballot for years, but he got caught doing steroids. I mean, Barry Bonds may be the exception because he was probably playing any generation or any decade, I should say.
Yeah, Barry Bonds
was
a beast to begin with.
Another guy that didn't need to take steroids and probably could have been the best baseball player ever was Alex Rodriguez, the most talented guy in the world, and blew his career. Not blew his career, but you know what I mean. And I like him. I like him on the mic, but he could play in any decade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he had man tits.
Who, A-Rod?
Yeah,
A-Rod?
Jeter had a nickname for him.
Can you imagine him playing
I forget what he called him.
Can you imagine him playing, Georgie, imagine A-Rod playing in the 70s or 80s and trying to slap the ball out of somebody's hand back then?
Oh, Mattingly would have came out of his own dugout and bitch slapped him.
Mattingly would've
Seriously, Mattingly would have just kicked his ass. But
hey,
you know what he would have done? He would have been like your dad, literally kicking your ass back to your house because you're getting in trouble, and he literally just a foot right in the ass every single time. 100%.
But at the same time, when A-Rod's batting 650 in 1972, he can do whatever he wants.
So I got a quick thing before we wrap up because I do want your predictions on how this Red Sox team, and 0-60 is an appropriate answer if you ask me. What do you think about? What do you think about if? So 1-59? My bad. Sorry, forgot they're playing against my old alma mater. High school.
Which one was that?
Maybe middle school. Yeah, exactly. Records for this year. And we talked about, like you just said, Trout would have hit 650 back in the 80s. But what if a guy hits 400?
Good shot of that. There's a good shot of that, and there'll always be an asterisk.
In
next
my
to
in
it.
my
Yes,
opinion,
thank you for
fake.
adding that.
And in my opinion,
Yeah.
personally, to sort of quote the parlance of our times, fake news.
Yeah.
Fake news. You get it. You get, dude. 60
Got
games,
100 more games
60
to left.
kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Okay, you ain't hitting
No.
400 for great. I mean, and we've seen guys go on tears that have hit like, 25 game hitting streaks, 30 game hitting streaks, 40 game hitting streaks. And you look at that batting average, it's like 471 or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They're
Nomar had a
crushing it.
pretty good one.
Yeah,
one
Nomar
year.
had
He
like,
was at
yeah,
407 and then finished 357. I
yeah.
forget 2000. I don't know.
It was
99
right
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it was right around there. It was before the
Yeah.
the 2000. I think it was, yeah, I think it might have been
97
99,
and
2000.
98 maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but even then, still,
But I remember it. Yeah.
I mean,
But-
either way, it's to me, it's
We'll see that sucks because it will. I don't think it should have an asterisk to it, but hey, it won't. I mean, with a World Series, you could have, like I said, the Orioles could just start hot and then they'll blow it in the playoffs. So what? They'll blow it in the playoffs. They will. They will.
well, now they might make it with the 16 fucking teams in there. Who
Yeah, true.
knows?
I don't. It's anybody's game, but I mean, Yankees are favored to win it. The Dodgers are favored. That's what
Nationals.
everybody. Nationals are up there. Phillies are being talked about. The Braves
Toronto.
have a great team. Braves have a great. Tampa Bay has a great pitching staff. If you could take Tampa Bay's pitching staff and combine it with maybe some of the Sox bats, that could be one of the better teams.
Yeah.
Are you talking about wins and records for our beloved Red Sox?
Yeah, so let's get a prediction, and again, I'll just start with Matt on the top here. Matt, you got 60 games. Where do the Red Sox finish with a record, and then where do they finish in the AL East as far as standings?
I'm talking. I hate saying this because I am biased, but to give this record is just horrible. I'm thinking 25 wins, 35 losses. Check my
25
math.
and 35. Yep.
25 and 35. I think third or fourth. Not high. I think it's going to be Yankees, Blue Jays, Tampa, Sox, Orioles.
Okay.
It could,
All right.
but the top three is tough. Top three. I mean, it could be with that pitching staff with Tampa. I mean, don't forget our beloved Blake Snell, who didn't want to play this year.
Yeah.
2 years ago, he was a Cy Young winner, but he had that one magical year. And guess another guy that's going to get paid next year because of that 1 year.
Yeah, that asshat.
Okay.
I don't know. But the Yankees are deep. Yankees are.
I agree. So 25, 35, finishing.
Yeah, I
third or
hate that
fourth.
record because I don't know.
mean-
I'm a baseball guy. I love the Red Sox, and it's going to be exciting 60 games for
Yeah.
sure. I mean,
That is true. Rich, your prediction.
Surprisingly, I gave them a few more wins than Matt. I got them at 28 and 32, finishing third behind the Yankees and the Blue Jays. And
they'll probably make the
Angels
playoffs with that.
happen to win the World Series this year, you are not going to see anyone pretend that this wasn't a 60-game fluky-ass season. They're going to fucking play that up to the gills if Trout gets one this year, fluke style. Goddamn 60-game season. This is going to be a fucking shit show.
I'm just glad it's back. I don't care.
No,
I'm just glad it's back.
I don't disagree. I will tell
know.
you, I am more pessimistic. I think they're going to go somewhere around 22 and 23 wins. And you're looking at 37, 38 losses. I think this team, I mean, just in that, that exhibition game, I had the game on. I was watching a little bit of it. I had to shut it off. I went out to go run an errand. I come back and I see hit, throw the ball away, guys score, next pitch, home run.
That's it. That's the season.
Yeah, but that really, but here's the thing is why I think that's the season. That's kind of what happened last year, right? That this really feels like this is the same season as last year with shittier
Without
players.
bets in the lineup.
Right, with that, you got no Betts, you got no Porcello, you got no Sale, you got no Price. As much as I mocked him and I think he sucks as a human, I just think he can still pitch. I mean,
and the Sox are looking great in that one.
One of the reasons why they won the World Series. In
100%. He was on fire.
I mean, listen, and I put him in the same category as Lackey, John Lackey. John Lackey was an asshat and a dickbag when he was here with the Sox.
Oh,
And
I love
and
Lackey.
and I was
Lackey
so,
had some nasty.
yeah, but
nasty
you know what though?
stuff.
When we first got him, and I remember him is there was a
Fucking
game that he
hated
pitched.
him.
There was a game that he pitched in Fenway, and he let up a bomb to like Manny or Ortiz, and he gets the ball back. And you know how they see the pitchers, they rub the ball, kind of like kind of work it over. And he's
Wait,
got
when he
the glove.
pitched against us or for
He
us?
pitched against us, pitched for Anaheim.
Okay.
Pitched for Anaheim, let up a bomb, and he turns around with a ball in his hand, or turns around and just the camera catches it perfect. He just looks up, he goes, I hate this fucking place. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is the guy we want to give multiple years, multiple millions dollars to a guy that's a fucking head case and already hates pitching in Fenway? Yeah, way to go, John Henry, you dickhead.
I loved it.
I thought it was stupid, and he
He came in here
was part
fat,
of the
out of shape.
Yeah.
Next year,
pitching and beer,
slimmed
all
down
that
and
shit.
was awesome.
Yeah, and then pitching a beer and all shit, and then fucking blew his arm out, and then next year came out, pitched balls, and helped us win a title. Which again,
Yeah.
I appreciate.
Uh,
I still
worth it.
think his time as a Red Sox was shit. I will say
No,
the same. With
they
David
won
Price.
a title,
He
and he
was
helped him win a
shit.
title. Boom.
Yeah, I will give him the credit where credit's due that you helped me win a title as a fan. But I think
George-
your career could have been so much better if you embraced being in Boston, if you embraced being the challenge of being a Red Sox player and all the scrutiny that goes with it and all that goes with being a player here. Because if you win and when you win, you are a hero. And that's, again, I think Lackey sucked here as a Red Sox. He had a great year or two, and he helped us win, and I appreciate it. But I think he
Right.
sucked. David Price, same type of thing. David Price, as a career, as a Red Sox, was a failure, except for one season that he actually got us to the title. But because this is more than just like, hey, an
Hitters
NBA.
Park. That's the
Yeah.
only reason why a lot of pitchers hate this place.
Well, true, but the other
Lackey
part
was
of it
caught
too
on
is,
camera saying it.
yeah, well, a lot of guys feel that way
Well,
too.
you know what? Grow up and
but
hit your
Pedro-
fucking spots.
But do you think Pedro said that? No. Pedro wanted to bear down and
Oh,
strike your ass out. And
Different
that's
animal.
that's the difference is I don't want a guy who's coming in here going, meh, all right, if I pitch and I do well, great. He's got to care. The guys that actually care, the guys that actually give a shit about being in Boston are the guys that are lauded and we love. Why do we love Trot Nixon? Because he cared, right? I love the guy. I personally love this guy, but why is this guy always revered in this town? And Tim Wakefield, because he embraced being here. He took that loss in 03 like a man, and he came back next year, and he made sure that he was part of winning and not the losing aspect of it. So I love guys like Derek Lowe. Derek Lowe could have been in Seattle and had been in like basically MLB Siberia, literally and figuratively from land mass.
I honestly, during that year,
Derek
I think
Lowe-
I wanted him there.
Derek Lowe
Then
came
he
in.
had nothing to lose in that game 7.
Yeah, but he pitched. Yeah, but he pitched
Same
balls.
thing
He
with
won all
Evaldi.
three. He won all 3 game 7s that year.
Yeah. So
I mean,
Well, not all 3.
there
He
are
clinched-
guys-
he
like
won all
Derek
3
Lowe.
clinching games.
yeah, there are guys that just get it, and there are guys that don't. And to me, a guy like Price didn't get it, and I'm glad he's gone. I know. Yeah, now obviously he's not pitching or playing, all that.
It's a tough team to
but
play
still,
for. I'm not
it
gonna
is.
lie.
It is, and then I'll kind of
But
equate
Lackey
it to.
won you a series. He had a big part of that. You can't.
Again,
I know you're not
thank
denying it,
Thank
but
you.
at the same
Get
time,
the fuck out.
2 out of 3
Pack-
years.
Pack your
Fine.
shit and leave. I'm so nice to you, Lackey. I'll pay for your Uber. Bye, Felicia. So, Matt's got him at. Matt's,
Lackey, he was the same guy. I hated him too. We had this conversation like 8 years ago, 7 years ago. He won us over because it wasn't that he won. And the same with Price. Price could have just won. It was how they won. Lackey had that balls. It was the Napoli home run game against Verlander, 1-0.
Yep.
Balls.
Yep.
Price did the same thing when he came out of the bullpen and then won. What was it? He pitched in the extras and then won the next game or something like that. Was it the Friday night game he pitched and held
Yes.
it close?
Yep.
And then 2 nights later, I think he won his start.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Again,
But
thank you.
you're right.
Mean it.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Bye. See ya.
One quick question: would you put Price and Lackey in the same category as Dice K? Dice K won 18 games one year. We won a World
1 year,
Series.
yeah.
The rest
Didn't he
of it,
also lose 12?
Yeah.
But
it's,
hey,
but he
according
won
to you
18
guys,
games.
can you blame him for all those 12 wins? Because he could have came in the fifth from the bullpen and could have blew it.
Yeah. Well,
So-
And how,
that's the 12
and how
losses,
come Josh
yeah.
Beckett only got 2 runs a game for support when Wakefield got 10? So
Yeah.
it,
Beckett's
that
still
was
no,
winning
that
games.
Wakefield,
irritated me
hold on.
all the
Wakefield,
time.
Wakefield always got his ass handed to him. Wakefield never got run support.
Oh, he always got run support, especially
thought-
like Jesus. We got the geezer going on. Wakefield turns 53 today. Happy birthday!
Really?
Here's the ball. Here's the
It was
ball.
like the
He's
champ.
last
15,
season of
15
Wakefield.
every year.
I swear the
Oh.
kids were like, we gotta get runs. We gotta get runs because if they get on, big old guy's gonna get pissed. We gotta get runs. Meanwhile, they just sat back at the plate with a bat on their shoulder while Beckett just tried to throw gas. Like, oh, Beckett will take care of it. I'm Big Tom's son. My dad'll fix everything because I'm a moron. I'll
I
finish
love
my
it.
thought with that because
I love it. I love it.
I'll be
So-
watching baseball 25 and 35. Mark my words, they're gonna finish
25,
16th.
35, and
Yeah.
they're going to make the playoffs because Major League Baseball 2020's fuck you. We want money. That's the what's it? Spaceballs return for more money. MLB 2020. Fuck you. Give us your money. That's their
Yeah.
slogan. So
It is.
25 and 35 for Matt. 27 and 33 for Rich, and I have them. You know what? Because I'm a pessimistic prick. I'm going 22 and 38 because fuck the Red Sox. So that's about it. I appreciate you guys jumping on again. Don't forget, stay tuned. Saturday, 5 p.m. Going live, bitches, on Facebook. Maddie, what are we doing?
Fuck it, we're going live. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll just sit there and I'll write the thing.
Yeah, we're going live. First ever Armchair Sports Guys Fantasy Draft. If you haven't heard, go check it out on Facebook on thearmchairsportsguys.com. Check us out on Instagram at armchairsportsguys.com. Easy for me to say. Twitter, armchair_guys. Again, it's a draft 5x5 fantasy players. So players that have the funniest names. So again, as a reference I used, think of a guy like Bake McBride, or again, Boston's own, who actually, he's a pitcher. I'd rather throw his ass out in the 4th or 5th rotation, Mr. Dick Pole. So he can come
Yeah, I
back.
would.
We'll find him back in there. We'll get him on the mound for 4 and 5. Maybe Matty, he takes my spot in the rotation because, I haven't warmed this arm up in a while. You know what I'm saying? So again, what, Matt?
You'll be better than the first guy, the third, the fifth, the sixth guy out of the bullpen.
And you know
I'll
what my
take it.
ass will do? I'll go all 9 innings, bitches. All 9 innings. On behalf of Matt O'Brien, Rich Mays, I'm GJ Mitchell. Sign off saying good night. Be good to each other, people. Be smart out there. And we will see you on Saturday, July 25th, this Saturday at 5 p.m. for our live show. So take it easy. Good luck, Red Sox. You're going to fucking need it.